YouTube, what is going on? Crowder here, and I'm bringing you guys another spawn breakdown for ranked play. Today, we're going to be working on the map of Embassy, and you guys seem to like the hotel one a lot, and I appreciate that. So if you guys want to drop a like on the video right now, we're going to do Embassy hardpoint spawns. I'm going to give you a general idea of what's going on this map. It can get a little crazy sometimes. Hopefully, this helps you out and get better at ranked play, and let's get right into it. So just like last video, we're going to be really focusing on the bottom left of this map. The red arrows are phase, and the white arrows are surge. If you do hear me say that for some reason, obviously, now you can understand that. But we're going to let this first hill play out just like this, and the spawn points on this map on hill number 1, which is P1, can be kind of weird just because of just how they play out, and I'll show you what I mean. So you can see that FaZe gets the first kill here, and kills are now starting to go down, and you're gonna see like where people start to spawn. Number 3 is on this side of the map, so he's kind of blocking like this side. But a lot of the spawns that happen on this P1 are around like the P2 area and what we call these like hallways, and obviously P4 spawns as well. So you're going to see a lot of those spawns happen, as well as some orange spawns or tennis spawns, and then every once in a while a gas spawn. But as you can see, like, yeah, the side P4 spawn happens while number 7 spawns here. You're going to get a lot of weird parallel spawns like that on this map. So a lot of the times when you're playing this, sometimes you'll spawn and you'll be like, where are they at? And sometimes they'll actually be like kind of on the other side of the map. As you can see, number 8 just spawned kind of where number 1 spawned earlier, and no one's really blocking like a spawn where it could be like this back alley or something. It's not really as logical sometimes as you would think. So as you can see, a lot of the times when you're playing this, people are going to be spawning behind you, especially when you're on that top paper and top office area, right? So when you're playing this map, you're going to be looking out for spawns like gas and also the tennis spawn or the orange spawn. But a lot of the times, the players will be spawning on this side P4 and these hallway spawns, and obviously if you're blocking P2, a lot of the pressure will be coming from the P4 area of the map. It is kind of weird, and you can kind of figure it out depending on like where you are on the map with your team. But for the general idea of rank play, you're going to see a lot of those spawns happen when you're top paper looking into the hill of P1. They actually might be spawning side P4 right under you. You can see how it just kind of plays a little bit odd, but that's kind of just the general idea of where spawns are. And even here, number 8 spawns out there because we're blocking the gas spawn, and also this guy is tending to block kind of P2 with this angle and also a little bit of P4, so sometimes that spawn will happen. Very confusing at a general, at a general concept. I'm going to keep this as basic as I can for ranked. I'm not going to go super in depth of like, demon traps and stuff that you have to perform with good communication and all this other stuff. But yeah, that is P1 in a nutshell. A lot of side P4 spawns, and just a lot of times when you're up top on that side of the map, you're like, there's no way they're spawning there. A lot of the times they probably can be, unless your teammate is actually blocking that. Okay, so now moving on to the P2, you can see that the FaZe and the red arrows actually just got 3 kills. So Seattle Surge has not gotten any single kills right now. So with this 4 dead, a lot of the times the side P4 spawn, which is what we call the side door spawn right here, is a very, very big spawn point on this P2. Also, you have the gas spawn, which is obviously out front where number 3 is. And then this middle alley spawn is also very heavy. All of these spawns are actually blocked right now, so the only place they can really spawn would be either like side P4 or a little bit deeper out of tennis, since we have someone so far pushed out in the back. And you're going to see these tennis spawns happen with this current setup. But once this setup gets broken, you're going to kind of see more of the traditional spawn system. So let's let this happen really quick. The spawn trap is now broken, and you're going to see that number 7 gets that middle alley spawn like I was just saying. So if you are blocking more of the gas, they'll get that middle alley spawn, and a lot of the times they'll be funneling middle if you're obviously in the back of P2. And if they don't get that middle alley spawn, they'll also be getting that side P4 spawn, just depending on where you're spawning. So if you're in the FaZe shoes right here and you spawn side P4, your call out should be they're spawning gas or middle alley. And those are the 2 spawns that you should really be calling out a lot of the times, because that's where they'll be coming from for your team. And you don't even have to say they're spawning there. Sometimes you could just say they're coming from there. And obviously, if they're coming from middle alley, they'll hit your hallways. And if they're coming from the gas side, they'll be hitting the front of that, which is the side trucks and vans. So you can see just how those spawns play out once you're not blocking everything. And you can see the traditional spawn system just for this hill in general is this back middle alley again. So it's going to be a lot of middle alley and a lot of gas, and then a lot of side P4 over and over and over again. And then when you start getting the middle alley and you're blocking gas, that means they'll be spawning side P4, which is over on this side of the hill, which is also very important to know. If you obviously spawn out and you know that now they're all coming from the side P4, you can rotate to this hill. If you get the kill on this hill, you'll have them all trapped there. So that's a really good, kind of way to rotate the P3, is if you can get the middle alley spawn and you can get the back gas spawn, then you can kind of flip them for the next hill to have like a really good chance of obviously getting that P3. Now we're on P3 right now, and the spawns on P3 are pretty simple, I would say. So if you're spawning over here where the side P4, bottom P4 spawn is, which is what we call the side door spawn, if you're spawning over there by the palm trees, a lot of the times the other team will just be spawning by the gas or the P2 area in general, just over here. So when that is happening, all you really can just know is that they're either going to be coming from like the middle and trying to work up your orange, or like the middle alley just area in general and try and get up the orange to the new, or they're going to be going around the gas and back alley to obviously try and break this hill. So if you let this play out and you see some of these spawns continue, Pred just got a kill, and most likely, since they're blocking everything, exactly what I was going to say is that they spawn over by here, which is a side P4 or bottom P4 spawn, and that is because they're on this side of the map. So if you're spawning on this side, you kind of know that in general, they're going to be getting that weird P2 spawn like I just kind of showed you. The hill is white here, so that's kind of a whole different advanced spawn thing, but you're going to spawn a lot of the times over here, which is like the P2 area or the gas area. And then, of course, the side P4. So right now, FaZe is coming from this way, and Seattle is coming from this way. The hill is now white, so we got that closer spawn. So you can see how that kind of just works over and over and over again. Number 7 makes a good play by pinching this. Obviously, try and get more control. And then since he pinches this and blocks this, FaZe now spawns behind him. So depending on where your teammates are on the map, will always manipulate the spawns in hardpoint. Every single hill has its own spawn system for that hill. And this P3 is pretty simple. The gas side of the map in the P2 and the side P4. And at that point, it's just kind of like depending on what you block and what you pinch, that's kind of just going to how it's going to work out. So this is a pretty easy one for you guys. Probably the easiest one I would say to understand on this map outside of the P5, I'd say. And let's move on to the next one. All right, so now the P4 spawn system is now active as this hill pops, and you're going to see a lot on this map is when you block this tennis spawn, which is one of the spawns, the middle alley spawn will be very, very big. And if it's not the middle alley spawn, it'll be a little bit more to the left. So you're going to see here that the red arrows are kind of spawning in the back as Seattle is pushing them. And then since Seattle gets a lot of pressure towards the back is not the most dominant spawn all the time, especially it's very easy to block. You're going to push the other team to spawn out all the way over gas. So a lot of the middle alley, a lot of tennis spawns, and then obviously depending on where the people are on the map, a lot of like the gas side spawns too. So that was a good play right there from Seattle to obviously push that. And you're just going to see a lot of these spawns kind of play out. So now that everyone just got killed, Seattle pushes out and blocks the tennis spawn, so they're going to spawn us on this side of the map, so they're going to have to start protecting their hallways because of the way they are obviously set up. And then again, the middle alley spawn is open, so we're going to get that too. The weird thing is too is obviously now that number 2 kind of got towards the back again, they're going to get that tennis spawn to flood in. So this tennis spawn is very likely to happen on this P4. And especially if you get closer to the back. So you just have to really make sure you look out for this tennis spawn and the sign spawn. And then obviously if you're spawning sign, either they're spawning in the back of P4 or on the P2 side of the map like you just saw. So now that they're coming from sign, the other team is spawning in the back P4. So yeah, the P4s can definitely be a little bit confusing, but basically if you block the tennis spawn by pushing it out, they would either be spawning in the back or on this side of the map, and they would be funneling through hallways a lot. So if you can get kills and you know that you're blocking the tennis, you know exactly that they'll be coming through this middle alley and flooding your halls, or if you're not blocking the back at all, you could spawn them behind you just depending on where your teammates are at. That's as simple as I can make it for you. And last but not least, on this map of Embassy, you are going to see the spawn system of P5, and P5 is now live, and a lot of this is probably the most simple hill that you can really work. If you are blocking the orange spawn, or the orange spawn is what you have, this is one of the main spawn points on this map, on this hill. You will see that the other team is spawning out by the P2 vans and the hallways. It's as consistent as that. As you can see, one spawn hallways, one spawn P2 vans. So you're going to see if number 7 pinches this and actually wins this gunfight, you are going to see that now that number 4 player on FaZe is either going to spawn behind him over here or behind him over here, which would be the P4, depending on obviously how far pushed up these guys are. So again, you have number 7 kind of in the middle of this, so he can spawn either side. He gets that really, really far spawn that is really far away from the hill. Number 7 makes a great play on something that's like a break. And then he also secures his team that orange spawn by doing so, and they're able to spawn and flood into the hill. So that was a good play from them, and you can just see how it works now that this side is secured by Seattle. FaZe will start getting those P2 spawns that you just saw that Seattle's are getting. And then over and over again, you will see those kind of happen. This weird P4 spawn does happen, but number 6 is also looking down the lane of that P2. So again, those are as simple as I can make it for you guys, but hopefully this helps you out a little bit. I would definitely recommend watching maps like this and looking at the mini map so you can see what is actually happening and where people are actually spawning when people are getting killed. So when you see yourselves in those positions, you can actually understand what's going on. And now this is not something to teach you how to break and how to hold and stuff. It's just where people are coming from, understanding hardpoint, and then you can use this information to obviously find out the best way for you to play hardpoint from there. So hopefully this helps you out, guys. If it does, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And as always, it's been your boy Crowder, and I'll see you guys next one.